Hi guys. Right, project today is I'm going to be using this 6x1 pine board it was from a table bottom which has been dismantled. It's something I made ages ago and I just got no space for it, so I dismantled it. I've got no other use for it, so I'm going to use that. Now my idea was just to make one project with this, but I ended up making 3 projects, so you'll see as it goes through. I sort of chopped and changed my mind throughout this build, and then I ended up making 3, and you'll see at the end of 3 projects. The 3 easy builds for beginners. You can go as sort of make it as hard as you want or as simple as you want. You can use, for this project, you can use scrap wood well, really, would you call this scrap wood? I don't think I'd call this scrap wood. It's just wood that can be used. It's still like newer wood. Just had like some pins in it, but I do use some scrap wood behind me, sort of halfway through the build as well. But here I'm just sketching out for the initial project that I was just going to do, and it was going to be like a chocolate station. I know that sounds mad, but one of my favourite drinks is drinking chocolate, and we buy it in them sachets, and they end up in boxes all over the place. So I thought I just wanted something for the kitchen. That's them there, the chocolate sachets. Something for the kitchen that can organise them a bit better. It's a bit of a treat every now and again. You know, I don't have them all the time, although I look like I've been doing in a bit of chocolate lately. But by and by, let's get past that little bit and let's build a chocolate station. But you could use these. You could put tea in them. You could put coffee in them. You could put whatever you wanted in them. Anything that's sort of ideal. You could even use this in a bathroom. Put your cosmetics, put your grooming things in. You can put your spin on this, and this is what it is. Very beginner friendly. Pair of nips. I don't know, pincers, nips, whatever you call them. Just getting them old pins out, making sure there's nothing in there. And I'm just going now to the table saw just to cut things up to size, and I'm going to end up milling some sort of wood down, just making everything right for what I need. So this is a bit of scrap here I'm using. This was, I'm not sure where I got this scrap from. It was from a mill down. I think I milled down some 4x2, and I ripped it sort of thing, but you know, like through a table saw, split it in 2 sort of thing. But it was some scrap I had left over, and I'm going back to the 1x6 6x1 now just to clean up the edges. Like I always say, watch yourself round big saws like this. My big saw here, my Makita, it's a bit big really for what I need, to be honest. And it's really heavy. 2 of us, like, of an evening, we have to sort of carry that in. It's that heavy. It's really heavy. So if you've got any suggestions on miter saws, let me know. I don't need one this big, but I'm not going to get rid of this one just yet. It's served me really, really well. I love the thing. And I am going to give it another service, but it'll be something like in 12 months' time I might consider. It's got to be an upgrade to it, whatever I buy, because I don't think I can go back to using anything sort of lesser than that, because it's been brilliant. So I'm ripping these boards down here now to 7 cent. I think it's 7 cent. Some of them are 7 centimeters and some of them are 9 centimeters. And at this point, I'm still thinking like sort of one project, and then the ideas are sort of coming into my head now. Like as I'm cutting the wood, I've got sort of more wood than I expected, and I'm thinking, is just one project just a bit boring here with this video? I might as well do 2. These sort of things are going through my brain. And I'm just marking out here. I got sort of to use a lot of things on this project. The sled. Now, I'm finding this invaluable, this sled. that's another thing I'm going to upgrade. I'm going to make a better, one that's slightly bigger, slightly better. I made that just to see what they're like, and it was the first time I ever made one. And I've got to be honest, it's been one of them things that I tend to use quite a lot of, and I think it'll take a lot of the miter saw work out like I'm doing there. And this is another thing, tapering jig. It's been absolute. I don't use it a lot, but when I do, it just gets me out of them problems with certain angles, or, you know, I'm not sort of too wanting to use the sort of like miter saw for certain things, and that tapering jig is something else. It really is. It's coming really handy. So I'm just marking bits off here just to trim stuff up. Here he is, look. Look at him, it's getting a bit warmer now. I am going to have to clear this space up again. I've got plans for this area, don't worry. Here he is, look. Who's that, Stanley? Say hello. So now I've got everything cut up, and you know, I'm just marking out again here. Just take your time with your marking. This is where I try and sort of want to start being more accurate than anything. So now I've got like 2, maybe 3 projects going off in my head, and I'm thinking, why not just do it? Just do the 3 projects. Just make sure you're measuring here, especially for this one I was building, this separate one. You have to be sort of super accurate with it. Not so the chocolate station and the other sort of project you'll see, but this one, like I say in all the videos, do comment and say aye below, or, you know, if there's anything that you see that I'm doing wrong, let us know so everybody can see and learn from. And any ideas, and guys, what I wanted to ask you was, if there's anything you want to see being made, if there's any sort of projects you want me to have a go at, I know I put in a community post about projects, and I'll get back to doing that, but in the comments as well, if you just pop in there what you want to see being made, and then I'll just sort of randomly pick one every now and again and make that project, or try to make that project. You know what I'm like. I'll have a go at anything. It doesn't bother me. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong, but I'll have a go at it. And don't forget to subscribe if you're watching video. And there's some more of that scrap that was come out of me MFT table, the pine, the base. So I just want a square edge here, because it's obviously not square. A straight edge, sorry, and then I'll run it through and I'll mill it up that way. And again, the tapering jig it's now acting like is it a jointer? Just to get that edge nice and straight, which it does perfectly. Well, it won't be perfect, but for our sort of things, it's perfect. I do highly recommend you have a go at making that tapering jig. I think I've got a video somewhere where I made it, so go and have a look at that video. If I can remember, I'll put a link down to the video below. Yeah, if you're watching the video and you're not a subscriber, please help the channel by subscribing if you can. It would be massively beneficial for us. It's all to do with the algorithms and getting it out there, and the more people we can get into woodworking and helping woodworking. Don't get me wrong, I get it wrong a lot of times, but this is a journey where, I don't know, what are we going to be building in 3-4 years' time? So this is the other project, the 3rd project. So what I've just butt jointed and screwed and glued, I will be doing some pieces of pine I've ripped down to 7 centimetres. And it's just a little shelf sort of rack thing, but with a little bit of a spin on it, a little bit thought gone into it, just on the design. I love the design of this when it's finished. I think it's really smart. Again, I'm just trimming everything to size. I've got no overall sizes and dimensions. So I'm just sort of like, what a lot of you'll find when you're making stuff, you'll just do things, and that's all 3 projects cut up there. You'll just do things, and you're just going to have to go with it as you build it. Just don't do what I'm doing and not writing anything down, because I should be ideally writing everything down here, what I'm doing. I think it's just because, you know, I'm doing the video as well and try to get everything right for that. I'm obviously forgetting, and, you know, forgive me for that. So I'm just putting a curve in here. I must say my jigsawing's getting a little bit better. You know, I'm a lot more confident with that now. It's not phasing me one bit. So I'm just going in with a countersink, pilot and countersink, screw. The screws I'm using for this here, these will be 40mm torque screws I'm using here. And everything's getting a sand now. This is another thing I do, even when it's all in parts, sand everything, get all the, because once it's together, you're not going to get into the edges. It's like gluing up, and you're not going to get into them edges, you're not getting into them tight corners. I tried something there which didn't work by gluing it first, then leaving it for 20 minutes, just so I could get everything, if I could, see what it was like. But I'm just too heavy-handed, and things like that don't work. Now, I was initially going to pin this with the nailer here, but I go back and I glue and screw everything, because I'm not just happy with that nailer. I don't know what it is, whether it's just crap quality or I'm doing something wrong. I ain't got a clue. The nails seem to be going in, and it just doesn't feel right. I ain't got a clue. That makes sense. So anybody that's used to nailers and stuff like that, please let me know if it's me or it could actually be the nailer. So I'm just gluing these supports in. So you can see here, this is starting to look like one of them old school nail sort of things where you used to put all your nails. And I'm just flitting through the different things here. So, you know, as I'm letting one thing dry, I'm doing the other project. Multitasking. Now, Shelley reckons I can't multitask, but this is, you know, how I'm proving her wrong here. Now I'm multitasking. How many guys out there, how many men out there can say that they can multitask? So here's a bit of the design on this little shelf system I'm doing here. I'm going in here with a 35mm torque screw, and I've plugged everything, glued and plugged everything. You don't have to go to that stage, but you know, I just think if I'm going to do something, I just want to see it right through to the end, and I think it stands you in good stead, even though you're a beginner and a hobbyist and all that kind of stuff. If you can finish things properly to the best of your ability, it stands you in good stead going forward. And the better you get, you're not sort of going to cut those corners, and I'm trying not to cut corners as best as I can. So here she is. So she's going over everything now with this decorator's varnish by Polyvine. And now what this does, it'll leave a protection on the sort of raw wood, but it gives it like a creamy white vibe, and it sort of keeps the pine nice and bright, which is good. It's a good product. And now I haven't got the hooks I wanted for here. These are coat hooks, so please bear in when you see it at the end. Remember, you put your own hooks on here. So with these, I'm just going in with a ratchet screwdriver. I don't want to go in, you know, too hard with a normal driver. So there's the sort of coffee station. It's got that old school work tote vibe to it. I wanted it to be slightly different. It didn't go the exact way I wanted it, but it worked out really well. It could have been a bit higher. The mugs could, you know, and you can see them. I think it may be the hooks, but that's the sort of idea they had in my head. Now, this is the shelf system. Let me know that. I like that shelf system, but my favourite one's the next one that's coming up. It's different. That's different. You've got to try and be different. And here's the third one. It's just a little shelf system. Now you can move that around to whatever. You can put it in a corner. You can adjust it back and forward. You can do what you want. So versatile, that. Let me know in the comments what your favourite is. And there'll be a follow-up video to this, like an overview video at some point. So stay tuned. I think it might go out the day after or the day after that, but you will probably be notified. So hit the bell. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Don't forget to let me know which one your favourite is. So do comment. Thanks for watching. You're all amazing. And let's get on to the next one, guys.